Big 12 Radio. This is Big 12 Today. We are presented by Modelo and heard on TuneIn and watched on Big 12 Studios. In a few minutes, we're going to be visiting with the head basketball coach for Arizona, Tommy Lloyd, fresh off their opening season victory over Florida in Vegas in what was very much a home environment, great game. Koa Peat had 30 points in his debut, and not to be outdone or played second fiddle, but Jaden Bradley had 27 points as well and looked extremely dynamic. So excited to talk with Tommy Lloyd here momentarily about the start to the season.
Like that game felt like an NCAA tournament game in November. It was super loud. It was on TNT, which is one of the rights holders for the NCAA tournament. So you had the same announcers, you had the same fan engagement. It was a neutral site game, technically. And like an NCAA tournament game, they're neutral games, but usually the crowd is leaning one way or another until you get to the Sweet 16 or the Elite Eight. Just felt like an NCAA tournament game. And it was so fitting that, Florida wins the national championship last year. They're playing in a game like this. Love that it's against a Big 12 school and the Big 12 gets the win. And remember, Arizona started like 4-5 last year in the non-conference. They didn't have a win like this until conference play. This year, like they're way ahead of schedule in terms of where they were last year. They balled out.
Yeah, and it's funny if you look at the box score, and one of the things we talked about a ton last year with Arizona was one of the top offenses statistically in the Big 12 last year, but doesn't shoot a high volume of threes, and that's how they started off the season as well. When you look at the 3-point shooting differential in this game, Arizona in their season opener shoots 2 of 5 from three.
They shot 5 threes. They attempted 5 threes.
Florida went for 20 or attempted 27 threes. So Florida attempted 22 more threes. They hit 5 more. So, they were plus 15 from three, but, Arizona still shot the ball 49% from the floor, 30 of 61 overall, and that's the key for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And the last I checked, teams shoot a much higher percentage from the foul line than they do the 3-point line. And they got to the free throw line 38 times. Like that downhill attacking, we're going to get to the basket style of basketball was poetry in motion against Florida.
All right, we're talking now with Tommy Lloyd here, the head basketball coach of Arizona. And this is a real background, Tommy, we're looking at with you, with the mountains and the cactus behind you?
I live in Tucson, aka Paradise.
That's incredible. All right, so it's a win, it's one win, but it had to be fun because it feels like Vegas has always been a home away from home for Arizona basketball.
Yeah, I mean, I'm lobbying hard to get the Big 12 tournament there, but I'm not getting much support.
I'm with you. We'll do it.
It's no fun being the new guy. So
You and I could both go
no,
to your
no.
mark and tell him we need to go to Vegas.
Yeah, I think we can tell your Mark whatever we want. I think he's going to do whatever he thinks is best.
Yeah.
Um, no, I mean Vegas is an awesome place, and obviously we got great proximity to it, and we just have a long history of playing there, and our fans love it. So we try to get a game there every year, and just happened to be on opening night against Florida this year.
Coach Koa Peat, that 30 burger that he put up. I know you coached with him or coached him, I should say, this summer. So you probably knew how good he was, and a lot of people didn't. I
Well,
mean, did you see a performance like this coming?
yeah, I mean, I know how good he was, and I know how good Jaden Bradley is, and apparently the rest of the conference doesn't, but that's for another story. And, to be honest with you, we're fine with that. Like, we're not a program that's trying to build things on fake preseason teams or sizzle. We want to come out and perform. We want to be a program that's based in substance and consistently produce a winner, and so that's our number one focus.
I know we've talked a ton with you about 3-point volume and whatever, but do you feel like at this point in time it's almost a market inefficiency to a degree to be a predominant 2-point shooting team? Like teams are so enamored with shooting threes that it feels like it's actually swung the other way. The pendulum has swung the other way in terms of efficiency from shooting wherever you are.
Well, we have talked a ton, but we are. I mean, honestly, we talked so much I forgot a lot about what we talked about. When you guys held me over after that a semifinal game at one time, 15 minutes extra on a game night. Listen, there's lots of ways to do it, and at the end of the day, the game can evolve. but a lot of the same things still apply. I mean, if you can, be successful in the paint area, scoring the ball, defending the rim, rebounding the ball. I mean, you give your team a good chance to win. And I didn't go into the game saying, guys, we're shooting 5 threes, and whoever shoots the 6 threes coming out of the game. You know what I mean? It's literally how the game played out. I was kind of really surprised after the game, and I'll give credit to our guys for, attacking where they felt like they have advantages, and that wasn't honestly not the game plan. And we know, shooting 5 threes a game, probably isn't a long-term successful strategy, but it's how that game played out, and we were there to get to attack with a process, hoping to achieve a result, and we did that.
And to that end, I heard your interview with the Field of 68 following the win, and you compared Koa Peat to Larry Johnson. And watching him, that's such a great comparison because, I mean, he does have some old school to his game. He really uses his size well. And again, Florida has one of the best front courts in the country, and Koa Peat did not look like a freshman. I mean, he looked like a bowling ball going up against that front court.
Yeah, I mean, he's a really good player, and when I make those Larry Johnson comparisons, that's just for, some people to have something to grab onto, maybe to give him some context. I mean, Larry was also the number one pick in the draft, and he played in college when he was 22, 23 years old at UNLV. So Koa's 18, we'll give him some space. He had a really good game. But I think the most exciting thing about Koa is just his character, and I think and what I'm anticipating is his ability to learn over the course of the year. I mean that's what we're going to focus on, and we took yesterday off. I'm literally sitting at my desk where I do most of my prep work at home right now, and I got a bunch of notes scribbled down, and I'm excited to get back with the team today and get to practice.
For context for the listeners and the viewers, every time we talk with Arizona basketball coach Tommy Lloyd, he brings up Kansas City in the Big 12 tournament, and they get this massive semifinal win. It's like it's got to be close to midnight. He's dog tired, and our producer at the time is dragging Tommy Lloyd into this literal weight room to do a radio interview with us. And I know you didn't want to do it. Frankly, Coach, I didn't want to do it. Power and Light was calling my name, but you were a good sport, and we appreciate your time.
Well, I mean, the funny thing going back to that moment, I always give you guys a hard time about it. Was I honestly, literally thought he was joking. I mean, I was like, you're joking, right? Like,
Ah.
no, 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 no. I'm serious. Like, come on, you're joking. No, no, I'm serious. And then 5 minutes, and then 21 minutes later, I walk out of that room, and yeah. But hey, you know what? You guys are doing a great job. So anything I can do to support you guys, I'm a fan of.
And we appreciate it. And I hear the same tone in your voice when you're talking about, apparently a lot of other people don't realize how good Arizona is this season. Like, are you?
And that, guys, that's just a joke. I mean, like, listen, I mean, I'm sure people that know, that I'm concerned about know. Picking all eight teams is always hard. It's guesswork, and yeah, we replaced some really good players, and there's reasons guys transfer, and maybe some of it has to do with some of the guys that are coming in. And so in this modern day era, there's going to be some of that, but I felt good about the guys we had coming in. I never for 1 second wavered or thought that, we were going to take a step back, and my hope is, we can earn the right to take a step forward, and that's going to be our focus is, trying to crush the process, getting better day by day. We have young players that I think can grow. We have veterans that are in new roles that I think can grow. So, to me, that's the exciting part about coaching.
Yeah, man, I think Jaden Bradley's maybe the most underrated point guard in the country. Like he just looks like a running back. He can handle it. He can get anywhere he wants on the floor. What have you
Why
seen?
weren't you saying that before? Why are you saying that after he scores 27 points on national TV? I mean, they come out talk about a layup and low-hanging fruit.
Uh,
I mean, like,
Tommy, we'll roll back the tape, okay? We did a deep
okay, yeah, yeah.
preview. I believe
No,
I've
no, 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 no. Listen, I know you guys are always trying to get more of my time. I'm just going to take your word for it. Okay, I'm going to take your word for it. You don't need to prove it to me. You telling me you thought it. That's enough for me.
He's a baller. He's a baller.
Yeah,
So
and he's a great guy. He's a great guy. What makes some players special is how they leave space in the room for other guys to be good, and that's really important, because it's a 5-man game on the court at one time with some layers behind it that are gonna you come in and out of the game, and you need guys like a really good skill is to let other guys get better. I mean, to be honest with you, not that I have no reason to talk about BYU, but I felt the same thing, when we had AJ this summer with USA Basketball. Not only is he talented, he also leaves room for the other players to be really good too, which it's ultimately, I mean, the more good players you can have, contributing to their potential, the better you're going to be. And so I think that's a great trait for players.
Yeah, with your experience in coaching that team, I mean, hyperbole be damned, but I mean, from a freshman class standpoint, some of the guys that you coached, I mean, is this as good as you've ever seen from a freshman class?
I mean, who no, guys, you guys, you're on the team overreaction right now. It's 1 or 2 days. Like, I mean, these guys are really good. Yeah, they're really good. You know what? But I'm sure if we dug deep, there's been other freshman classes that are really good. So I'm not really good at, saying these big,
Right.
proclamations or anything like that. But yeah, there's a lot of good players, and to me, it looks like they can make an immediate impact, at the highest levels of college basketball, and which is going to be really exciting because fans and TV like nothing more than a really talented young player. I mean, they're enticed with it, and so, sometimes veterans like a Jaden Bradley or a Tobe Awaka, go underappreciated,
True.
because they're a little older and they've been around a while and there's just a familiarity with them. So, those guys are really important to winning too. Maybe more important.
Yeah.
So
Blue,
I
for
think
sure.
you factor it all in, but there's no doubt the freshman group looks really talented this year, which and which is really cool is we have a lot of them in the Big 12.
Yeah.
Coach, what did you do last night? Like, you guys get this huge win on Monday. Last night, are you watching other college basketball games? As a lot of teams are tipping off their season last night. Are you breaking down film? What was your evening like?
Both. I did both those, and then I, hung out with my family. My son came over, our grandson came over, and was, tearing up the house. So, spent some time with my dogs. All that exciting, normal stuff, right? Right now I got to finish breakfast and take the garbage down before the garbage truck comes. So, like, life is normal here. Nothing, you don't win a game on Monday, and the garbage doesn't automatically get taken out on Wednesday.
How old is your grandson now? I remember seeing him running around in Kansas City.
He's I think 16 months, so
Wow.
we're getting close to a year and a half. So it's been
Got
a
a
tough
basketball in his
time.
hands yet, or?
Oh my gosh, the kid's crazy for it. Loves it.
All right, last thing for me, you mentioned looking at the film, getting to practice today, taking the day off. How much time did you spend on some of the end of game execution and inbounding?
Oh wow, we're going there, huh? Not a lot. I mean, I think obviously we spent some time on that, and heading into the game, obviously not as much as we had, but it's really funny. I've been doing this a lot of years. It seems like you need live reps in games, for guys to really understand how important that is. And you can say this, you can say that. I mean, I thought we were fine, you know, uh, with our second little thing, we were running to get Bradley the ball, but he slips and falls. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I mean, Jaden. I guess the coaching on that is Jaden. When you're running, don't slip and fall. And then the one before, Delhi has the ball, and it's the classic. These players, they're like a magnet to the ball at the end of the game. They runs too close to the baseline when he should have gave himself a little more space. And then Delhi could have called a timeout. So yeah, lots of good things to learn from. So. I mean, we definitely have that on in a film session today, and hopefully we'll be able to cover it on the court as well.
Well, Coach, we could sit here and pepper you with questions all morning, but we got to stay on your good side. So we're going to let you go. But man, that was awesome on Monday. Huge win for the league. You guys look really, really good, and we're excited for the season.
Yeah. Thank you. Got a big one versus Utah Tech Friday. Hopefully you guys will be tuning in.
Absolutely. We will. Tommy Lloyd, it's always fun to be visiting with the head basketball coach from Arizona, Tommy Lloyd, off to a great start with that win in Vegas over Florida. And a win is a win is a win, especially against the defending national champs. It was very impressive. All right, with James Westling, I'm Ari Temkin. This is Big 12 Radio, presented by Modelo and heard on TuneIn, watched on Big 12 Studios.